Hey guys, Denny here. Do you have a story that you want to tell? Something you can't explain? Send us an email. encounters@kyxfiles.com. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to the show.
Welcome to the Kentucky X-Files, Season 2, with your hosts Dennis Mays, Tyler Stewart, and Josh Gibbs. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, so you never miss an episode. Now, on to our show.
Coming towards me, just crouched down. For me, at first, I thought it was just a orange thing.
I thought it was a bear. You can tell the difference between like a small, spindly leg creature and something with a larger foot. And it was big, whatever it was. It ran straight down at us and just stopped. And it was pitch black. Couldn't see it.
And most of these witnesses that have come close to these things could have been killed.
It was beating on the side of the house. I didn't get to the side of the house as it went by.
Now, when it stood up, that's when I knew it was a dog.
Right, like I needed someone to have pure faith in a higher power at that moment, and nobody fucking did.
Welcome back, guys, to Kentucky X-Files. Oh,
That was half-hearted. Yeah, I was tired. Tired tonight.
So I guess we're back
On the trail.
the trail. Like, is this considered the beginning of Monster Tracker? Like the intro to us trying to pick up where we left off,
I think,
somewhat, maybe in new places.
if not, it's definitely very relevant. Or it could, it's potentially very relevant.
I just didn't know if we could like let the people know that the Monster Tracker is like going to be put back on the stables.
I would definitely, that's something that I've been wanting to bring up too, is the Monster Tracker. When we started doing that, it was pretty fun, because it's like, okay, we're like, when you eliminate kind of the questionable sightings that don't really fit the bill, then you start getting this really clear path, you know, of like, okay, we've got a movement here, you know. That's why I made the comment, you know, like, okay, we either have, you know, we have a pattern here of either an animal, or we've got someone super dedicated hoaxing it, because we've got a clear path that pops up about 20 miles away every year consistently. So I'm like, if there's a guy out there right now and this is your pattern and you're doing this, I got to take my hat off to you, because you are one dedicated son of a bitch. If it's actually you out there, Bigfoot, doing this, I'm going to do my best not to, like, you know, make your your walk uncomfortable with too many people. But the reason we're bringing this up, though, is the whole Monster Tracker. I've been thinking a lot about this, and this is going to come out cold bore right here. So you guys will be reacting to this idea in real time at the same time as these guys. I was thinking about updating it, going through. It's going to be a lot of work and a lot of time, and I eventually would like to do all of the states. And I think we should add a members thing on our YouTube or whatever, where folks can go in there and actually see the patterns in front of them and You know what I mean? Because if there's out there, I know there's a few of you folks out there you're super into Sasquatch and all these sightings or whatnot, and it might be relevant to your own research. And if it is, then it'd be cool to have something where they can comment on certain sightings, or they might even live by one or two of them and could give us more details than we have in front of us. So I thought it might be a really cool way to get the Monster Hunter really going, and then get the people involved in it, and whatnot. So I don't know. What do you guys think of that? You guys?
I think any kind of interaction with our fans is going to be awesome.
Yeah, like I know they've been wanting to dig into this a little more with us, and we always say that they're on this journey with us. So I feel like that will help them join us, and it will be cool to actually hear back from people to see if they've found anything like any footprints, or even if they got some type of sighting.
Man, it'd be cool if we could come up with a way to make a website where they could plot their own.
Yeah. That's actually part of it too, is that it wouldn't be completely unselfish. And the reason is because it's about 20 miles in between each sighting over a span of a year. So by that math, I would love to see this tracker done across the United States. But by that math, I will be 115 years old before we clear 70% of the states. I don't know if I'm going to make it. So I might need other folks to help out and, help us with sightings, help us weed them out, things like that. And I thought it would be pretty cool. And then,
they can put you in the wheelchair.
Yeah, I mean, I could give it hell. I just don't, I don't know if I'll be
We'll have
coherent
hover
by then.
We'll have hover wheelchairs
Like
or hover
Professor
chairs.
X?
Huh?
Like Professor X?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I mean, yeah, that would be cool, except for I don't think a wheelchair is going to help you when hold your head up after you're staring at a computer for 73 years straight.
Yeah, because I didn't even factor in like lunch breaks or anything.
Right.
That's continuous, Wouldn't matter. Big old spider.
Oh, I got a garage spider.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be pretty fun. The reason all this is coming up, though, you constant listeners out there, is because we have...
Do I need to take care of that for you, buddy?
We have a spider situation here.
I'm just saying, I'm just glad I don't have a gun. I would shot at it.
Is it a wolf or a fisher?
It looked like a wolf.
I'm going to put a mic in front of him.
I'll be right back, folks.
Get his take.
Yeah, swing my boom mic down to him. Where's he at?
He's like, man, I was just trying to...
He went under the left little tire, wheel.
He's right there. I see him.
Oh, there's another one right there.
I rolled over him with it.
It would be funny if you see the thing like fall over and he gets back up like,
You know what
you
it is?
had him do this to me, Tyler.
Well,
Out that window.
He's under my 14-gallon gas can, so I feel like he was trying to steal my gas.
Yeah, it's probably what it is. The prices lately.
Right.
Can't blame him.
He's going to run out the door with the gas can. I'm sorry, Tyler. I didn't mean to freak you out when I killed him.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. So yeah, the reason we're bringing all this up tonight is because we potentially, I'm not saying definitively, although it is odd, have something came up the other day. There's like in this area, there's a little community Facebook page where people talk about, what each other's doing most of the time and
How tall the grass is.
how tall the grass is and why is this going on and why do we have so many car washes. Typically, just a town of a lot of superficial talk, if I'm being honest.
And just to let you know, we have a lot of car washes, like he said, but you would think that every car around here is
Would
clean.
be super clean.
It's not.
I mean, they've given us all the tools.
Man, your guys'
Yeah.
community Facebook page is entirely different from my community Facebook. Mine is like, Coyote stole my dog last night. You see a coyote, shoot it.
Right.
It's like it's 90% lost dogs and coyote sightings.
Ours is
They're
like,
not related in any way, I swear.
There's a person down the street with his grass 10 inches
Yeah.
higher than the rest.
Yeah, that guy's yard gnomes are not color coordinating to the rest of the neighborhood. You guys get the idea out there, I think, right? Out of nowhere, I'm going to bring it up real quick. I should have already had this prepared, but I don't, like usual.
God.
Out of
dang
nowhere,
it.
a
It
post.
wouldn't be us without it.
Yeah. This post happens just at randomly. You'd never get this. This is why it piqued my interest. I have to give credit to a listener of the show who pointed it out to me, a local listener of the show. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and shout you out. Kelly McClellan sent me this. Thank you. She's the one that got me looking at it. This post pops up out of nowhere, and here's what it says. This was 3 days ago at the time of this recording. I'm putting it between 5 and 6 in the morning. Whoever is wearing the gorilla suit on Route 10, just before the back entrance of name changed for privacy. I understand it was a good prank, hopefully. But please don't run out in front of cars. Sometimes it's hard to stop that fast. You're going to give someone a heart attack. Well, the community, being the community they are, went crazy with comments like, Bigfoot, no pictures. Here's the Yeti story. Then somebody said here, when a large animal runs out in front of you, you should just hit it. Drivers and passengers are the most risk of injury by swerving off the road onto oncoming traffic. If a large animal is really a person disguised as an animal, so be it. That's a very neighborly thing to say. Another person said, whoever has this suit, hit me up. I have some people I'd like to prank. Somebody said, Squatch in the area. Well, one of you listeners out there felt compelled to send me this, so I started digging. And I will tell you what I came up with. First off, I tracked down the guy who made the post, which I do not have his permission to use his name, so I won't. And I asked him to tell me, some more detail about what he saw. He sends me this. For a big guy in a suit, he was pretty fast. I guess him wearing that suit did give him a weird gait, but he did clear the guardrail with ease. I got out to see if I could get a picture, but it was like he just disappeared. He must have slid down that hill or hid behind something. The guy was unbelievable balance and hiding skills. I would have busted my ass and rolled down the hill. If it was you, nice prank. He went on to say, the guy definitely needs to wash that suit. He had a smell of rotten eggs and skunk. I told him that it wasn't me. I am way too lazy to do anything like that. Meanwhile, on the post, someone else had commented, which I found interesting, was their comment was a question. It said, how big was it? He responded with between 6 and 7 foot tall. That was enough to get me interested, to get me digging. I want to know if it's a hoax. I want to know what they saw. I want to know everything. It's very random and very out of character for this particular group, which is, the reason I was so interested. The other person told me that a sighting at the same place happened 50 years ago. Same spot. So that gave me, a 50-year span, and we have same area. Couple of things jumped out to me. Again, all theorizing, but this is kind of how my brain works when it comes to this. As a lot of people were leaning towards it was a kid in a suit, so naturally I want to know who the tallest kids are. I want to know, is there some 6-7 foot kids out there playing? You know what I mean? At 5 in the morning in a gorilla suit. Is it a grown man in a gorilla suit? Is it even a gorilla suit? The other thing was, like I said to these guys before, was this is even more unbelievable to me than a Sasquatch, is kids are actually going outside and doing this?
Yeah.
Like, and then we went on to say, like, you know what? If they are,
Good on them.
yeah, hell yeah, good for you.
Yeah, you got outside.
I'm glad you got outside, but could you quit screwing with our Sasquatch hunt? You know,
And maybe stay off the road.
maybe get away from the road. But Tyler actually knows where the spot is. He said he might take a swing through there, check it out, let us know what he sees or doesn't see, or at least give us a description of the area.
I'll give a description of the area, but I will say this, and I don't want to throw any kind of, I wouldn't say misinformation, but anything I don't know. I've lived in that area. It's like 10, not even 2 minutes from my house. I could walk to it from my house. And I've went down that road thousands of times. I've been around that area thousands of times.
Yeah.
It's just, I've never saw anything other than what I told you about.
Yeah, the Doc Brown.
Yeah, the Doc Brown.
apparition.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I'll just tell him out of context. I was driving down the road when I was like teenager. I thought I saw Doc Brown on a bicycle in the middle of the night, like early in the morning, like 2 a.m. or something like that. So, and then I looked and he was gone.
You gotta tell him when you told people what
But
they said.
I told a lot of people about that, and they just told me that I hit him. But I don't think I hit him because I think I would notice if I would have hit somebody. So I don't know. I might have just incriminated myself because they found a dead body somewhere that looked like Doc Brown. And if I'm not on this podcast, that means I went to jail. I'm sorry.
Okay. So now we have context. But yeah, so interesting enough about this is that if you go back and you listen to one of the old Monster Tracker episodes, which I understand that those episodes are probably a little difficult to listen to because we are in the episode we were actively researching and we left that whole thing on the recording, so it's very unedited. It's real time, us going through each one, finding similarities, ditching bad ones. You know, I would like to take a better approach to Monster Tracker going forward, but in one of the episodes, I actually said we should be due for a sighting anytime. Because if what I'm seeing is correct, this would have been the year. And if you go back, I actually pointed out this year as our year. Didn't know when the month was going to be, but this year should put it right in our area. And if someone spots it, that would confirm it for me, which is the other reason why I'm so interested in this, because I need confirmation that the Monster Tracker is working.
But to be perfectly honest, I remember doing that. Sorry, excuse me. When we were doing that, a lot of these sightings, but granted, the sightings that we saw on ours, I can't remember where we started, but a lot of them were in this time frame, like the spring time frame.
Yeah.
That kind of, it bled a little into the summers, but not too many. But it was around springtime.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to me. One would think it'd be more fall.
You would think.
That's when more people are out in the woods.
Yeah.
You know, it's hunting season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fall, winter, that's when everybody starts going out. But it could be because spring is when it finally starts getting warm, and the non-hunters are like, oh, I can go outside now. My face doesn't feel like it's going to fall off.
Yeah.
Well, granted, a lot of these sightings that we saw, like we were reading, they were right outside people's houses. Like, I think the one that was closest to us, other than this one that we don't know, we can't say that it was a sighting.
Yeah.
Because they said that it looked like a person in a suit, like a monkey suit, a gorilla suit.
Yeah.
But I think one of the closest ones was that one that was in Campbell County. I don't know if are we going to bleep that? Campbell County.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We put so many. Yeah.
But yeah, the Campbell County one, it was by the Lincoln River. Like it was, it was a sighting off of his back porch or something like that, or it was on his farm at least. And he said it went down to the river.
Somebody just sent me something, and I'm sorry. I was. We can edit all this out.
Yeah.
It's like 4 side jobs came out of nowhere, so
Yeah.
I've been kind of handling some of it. I'm just gonna send it to you.
All right.
That's the best I can do, and you'll see why I was like.
I want to laugh.
Oh, it's so good. It's so true.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to interrupt the show. I'm sorry.
Just got off guard.
Yeah, just fucking.
Well, Grandma can't do that.
So, yeah, we had one sighting. We're still working on trying to. I think someone actually reached out to us saying that they were the one, didn't they?
They did, but we never got
a follow up.
We never got a follow up. I think it was actually an email. I know we got a we didn't get. I don't know if did you follow up with a guy that said that they saw like they know what gas station you were at and heard the same thing. I know I
sent an email back to that guy, and I haven't heard nothing back yet.
And then there was the other one that said that he might even know who you are.
That might be why I didn't get a. That could be why I didn't get a response. I don't know.
I think I remember that.
Somebody, not everybody wants to be on. You know what I mean? I get that.
Yeah, we all get that because
this
topic is such a.
Yeah, there's a big stigma attached to it.
Like, come on.
Everybody who's into this is nuts.
Like I've okay. Let me tell you this. I applaud your dad and your mom. Like they enjoy the show. They give you props for it. My dad makes fun of me every time I talk about this thing.
Did you guys find Bigfoot
yet?
yet?
Did you find Bigfoot yet? It's like
no, Dad. God,
it was just oh God.
We're never gonna find him if you keep making fun of it. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. It's
I
one
understand.
of them subjects.
He's just an old man. I'm about to put him in a home anyway, so.
This will be the one he listens to. Like, what the fuck did you just say? But yeah, it's interesting because we got one from quite a while back, several years from right there, on the Licking River. That we want to pinpoint really bad because I think it'd be a great add to the map. And then I'm not going to give any details away. We have another area that's not that far away that's got its own activity.
Multiple, if you're talking about the one I know of.
Yes.
Yeah, there's more than one person involved in that, and corroborated stories, and nobody wants to talk.
Nobody wants to talk.
They told me in confidence and in private, so I won't say more than it is in northern Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I keep his wishes because he is a listener.
Yeah.
But for all of the people involved, God, it's hard to explain because it's such an odd situation.
Yeah.
And if people understood the fact that this person and this person are agreeing and corroborating each other's stories when they really shouldn't even get along.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The thing I kept, I've since we've found out about this, I've desperately wanted to go.
Right.
I've desperately top 3 things I want to do. I really want to go.
With the land being sold to somebody else, it makes it even more difficult.
It makes it difficult. Yeah. It's almost a perfect combination. You know what I mean? Like, it's a perfect mixture of. There's this Goldilocks area that we could potentially get to, and maybe get some confirmation.
With footprints.
With footprints.
I've got the pictures of the footprints.
Are we allowed to show those?
I don't know. I'll double check. I know there's better ones than the ones I have. He's supposed to be digging them out of storage so that we can take a look at it, and I think we're going to be allowed to show those.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he took those personally. The other ones I have was somebody that they knew that was like a tracker that wanted to go check it out, and he came back with those pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. and the bottom of that area leads into a creek that leads into the river that leads into the area in which the sighting that started all of this was talking about.
Yeah. So it's like we have a connection and a path, you know. Years ago, I remember my wife has a cousin. He was married to her cousin. He's, you know, they're an older couple, you know. He passed away, and I wish, man, I can't tell you how much I wish he was still with us, because I would love to get him. He would have been so into this show. I couldn't speak enough about him, but sitting with him one day, we were just talking about all these crazy conspiracies and things like that, and I remember him having this really odd, like, picture of a Bigfoot that I'd never seen before. And what's funny is as the years kind of get away from that, I still haven't seen that picture. You know, and we're in the age of the internet.
Right.
But see, he wasn't super into the internet. He only got on, like, one website. It was Godlike Productions, conspiracy website.
Right.
That's the only website he really got on. And he would, you know, comb that and read it like it was the Sunday paper, right? But he had this one picture of a Sasquatch, and it was a good one. Like, it was neat looking, you know? And I was like, oh, it's pretty cool, you know? And he's like, hey, you like that? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, you know, the inevitable. I'm like, what do you think? Are they out there? He's like, yeah, that came from my buddy's property. Starts telling me all about it. Dude's got a bunch of them living on his property. A family of them. For years, they would screw with him, you know, screw with the house, all this. Eventually, kind of a truce, I guess, you know, like a don't screw with me, I won't screw with you thing happened, and then that was that. You know, and then the interesting detail was that he always killed twice as many deer. One for his freezer and one for them. And that's how the uneasy kind of became an easier thing. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, I mean, you know.
Right, that's pretty heavy.
This is way before this show. So you guys know how I felt about this topic way before. I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
You know, tell me another one, you know. You got any bridges for sale?
Right.
But this dude was a straight up guy. You know, he literally, like, it would have been, I want to say it would have been way beneath him. You know what I mean? So, you know, even years later thinking about that, I'm like, man, you know, like, what I wouldn't give for just another, you know, conversation. Just lay it all out for us one more time, you know, just let it out. Tell me about it, you know. And he was sitting there, he's like, oh yeah, he's got pictures of them, he's got all kinds of stuff, you know. I guess the guy literally eventually bought himself like a actual like DSLR like setup. This is film, you know, this is years ago, film, you know, the old ones, you know.
Like Super 8?
Like the old cameras, film cameras, where he could snap pictures and would just go out there, you know, and just try to catch them, you know, and he would. And he would send them over to, I don't want to give his name up, but he would send them over to him, and it would always be in these big envelopes, manila envelopes, you know, and like, hey, you know, save these, you know, store these for me. Because, you know, they were always like, you know, somebody's going to come in and take this stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
He had hard drives full of crap on UFOs and stuff. And, I mean, he had, like, literally, like, pulled hard drives out of machines, and it was just sitting on a shelf. Like, yeah, that's my UFO stuff. Yeah, dude, like, it was way beyond me, you know, and I wasn't into the whole conspiracy thing, but I thought it was neat to talk to somebody who was, you know. And they used to have this thing called Church Day. And Church Day was really cool because on Church Day, they invited everybody over, all right? Atheist. I was atheist at the time. I was practicing atheist. Christian, Catholic, Baptist, you know, Buddhist, whatever you wanted, whatever you were, or you know, however you followed in your life, and they would get together at a big table in their kitchen and serve breakfast, and they would just sit there and just discuss cosmic questions with each other. Jewish, doesn't matter who you are. I was invited up with my wife, and my wife desperately wanted to get me at the table with them. She's like, you really need to. She's like, because you have a much less argumentative way of your, atheism at the time, and she wanted me to sit down and discuss with them. And I thought going into it, at the time, I thought I was going to be really, like, irritated and annoyed with it. And what I found was a table with a bunch of really decent human beings sitting together. And even though their beliefs were like no two people there believed the same thing, it was like the middle of the table was a meeting ground, and it was okay. It was like all weapons are laid down right now. Let's just discuss. And it was really cool. And the guy I'm talking about, who I desperately miss, he wasn't at the table because he was a conspiracy nut and he was too weird for the table. They were like, well, I mean, he believes some crazy shit, So I sat at the table for a couple hours and I had breakfast and talked to him, and it was wonderful. And then I'd let them kind of do their thing without me being the Debbie Downer atheist. And I went and hung out with him in his office room, and it was so cool to get to know him in the brief time that I got to, And like I said, it's like our podcast missed him by, a few years. So I'm like, it's a bummer, like he would have been really cool. Dude, honestly, I would have almost said that he would have probably wanted to be our fourth guy and just sit down with us every week. Like he would have loved it,
Yeah, they would have kicked me out.
But it was pretty cool, and I would love, I consider it a missed opportunity. So you guys out there, I don't want to have any more missed opportunities. So, we say it all the time. If you see something weird, tell us anonymously. You don't have to be on the show. We're not going to drag it out of you. You don't have to be that way. Send it in. Let us know. You tell me all the details you got. And you know what? This even goes out to you hoaxers too. Send it in. Send it in. You know why? Because I need practice. I mean, in all honesty, there's somebody right now that's probably cooking up a story, and they're going to type it in. Sure, shoot it over. If I can't pick out the hoax, then this whole thing's pointless. You know what I mean? So send it. I'm okay with it. If you have an actual sighting, send it. You want to be a shit and add to the pile, send it. That's my challenge. I'm not saying I'm the end all of pattern finding or by any means, but if we're gonna do this, let's do this. If we're not, then we're just gonna keep going in circles like everybody else has been for the last 20 years.
Ooh, I got like a Stump Denny challenge.
Yeah,
send us in a story, and Denny will decide if it's real or fake, and then send us an email later and tell us whether you made it up or if it was real.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
And if your story isn't made up, well, now we're getting somewhere. Because I try to be very polite to the people who email in. I try to, I understand that some people have seen things and experienced things that they can't explain, and they want answers, and that's why we encourage it. We're not a therapy show. I don't know how we can help you get through it, but if you share your experience, we might be able to get somewhat of a pattern together, and whenever there's a pattern, eventually a science is born of it. So, maybe we can get somewhere. All I've been noticing lately is that with all the TV shows, the countless YouTube channels, everything. Now, I'm not saying everybody's channel is shit. I'm not saying that. There's several that I really like, and I still support to this day. But there's a lot of the going out in the woods and knocking on trees, hooting and hollering into the woods, laying an apple on a stump. Hey, come on, guys. Seriously, lay an apple anywhere in the countryside. Of course it's going to be gone.
Yeah,
It's an apple.
Right. If I found it, I'd eat it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I walk up and there's an apple in a tree, well, yeah. Especially a green apple, man. I can't resist them things. Right. But I'm just saying, like I seen one video where they left a Baby Ruth candy bar up in a tree. My ass is going to take that. If I was walking through there, Sasquatch wouldn't even have a chance. I'd already be eating that thing.
Well, let's not forget about the other critter with opposable thumbs.
Oh, the raccoon?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like a lot of people say, like, well, we're gifting them. You're gifting something. You're gifting something. Also, too, is, does a Sasquatch really need a candy bar? I don't know. That seems like a very minuscule amount of calories for something that's, substantial.
Yeah, like, are they attracted to the smell of it and they're just like any other animal that would they're like, right. Okay, I'll eat it.
I mean, food's food.
Yeah, like they'll eat it, but for that big of a creature, like especially if we know that it eats like meat, do you think a bear would go out of its way,
right,
to just he's like smelling? It's like, I'm hungry. There's a candy bar over there, but there's a deer over there.
Yeah, there's 25 million deer in the United States right now.
That bear would absolutely go for that candy bar.
Like a bear, yeah.
Absolutely.
Really?
For sure. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
absolutely. Easy. It's quick. Because he's not going to realize how small it is until he gets there. He's just only going to be able to smell it, and probably from a quarter mile away. It's going to smell like food.
Yeah.
It's going to smell good, and it's going to smell like it won't run away.
Right.
It's less
And plus,
calories.
if it's actually ransacked a fucking campsite before, it's like, I smelled that before. They had a lot of food the last time I smelled that.
Right.
Right, exactly. I mean, bears will get into cars for snacks that are left in the cars.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, that bear's going to go for that Baby Ruth in a tree, and so will a raccoon.
So I wonder if the bear that I saw
was looking for a Baby Ruth.
looking for a Baby Ruth.
It could have been. It's a good thing you didn't have one on you.
Hey, no, the funny thing too, where those trails are, if he would actually go straight down, I guess, yeah, straight across, he would go to that same area that guy said he saw, and it's not that far away. It was if he would have ran down that direction, one direction, he would have hit that same area that we were talking. That
Could
guy's
he have been coming from that direction?
He could be coming from that direction.
That'd be interesting. That's
I'm just saying, now it's still freaking me out because you kept saying there's no bears.
Yeah.
There's no bears.
I'm just saying it's there's so many on this particular subject. There's so many rabbit holes, and there's been a lot where like my first default argument in opposition of the Sasquatch thing, I was highly against it. I mean, just ridiculous against this topic. And my first argument was, what the hell is it eating? I mean, what's the food source? Well, then I got to, when I finally decided to, take my opinion out of it and start actually researching. Yeah, I mean, there's actually quite a bit for it to eat. Like I said, I was curious as to how many deer, are there in the United States? 25 million. And that's just the whitetail. And there's other stuff too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of deer. That's a hell of a lot of deer.
That's a lot of deer.
And then go on back to the whole infrasound thing. Do we have any science anywhere to show how a deer reacts to infrasound blast?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You
If
know
it
what I
does
mean?
anything like how the tiger does, like if it's in that frequency, they said that it can paralyze a creature for.
Well, that's kind of where I'm leaning as. It's like I kept thinking about the whole calorie thing. Well, like we were just saying about the bear, least amount of calories as possible. Wonder how much calories it takes to expel an ultrasound blast, right? All right, or sorry, I keep saying ultrasound, aren't I?
Yeah,
Infrasound. Oh God. So how much does it take to blast? You know, how much calories does it take to expel an infrasound blast? And then what is the effect on a deer? Would it be the same as anything else? You know, because that would if it doesn't take that much effort to do that, then it would make hunting a lot easier. You know, because I kept thinking like, okay, calories are important. You know, so
Yeah, use versus intake. That's
well,
that's a big thing.
We'll put it this way too: is like if they hunt in packs too, you gotta think like, okay, if it does expel a lot of it, a lot of calories and stuff, and like they basically kind of winded in some sort, they could have somebody, I guess, another.
That would
flank.
denote pack hunting.
Yeah.
Have one do the blast, the other grabs.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if it's as big as they say, I can't see it having much of a
But
problem with just snapping a neck
Another thing like that goes to show a lot of intelligence to
and intelligence.
a very.
I don't think they're completely. I don't think they're dumb. I don't think
would
that
say-
makes sense.
I would say
No-
like
no
'cause
predator is dumb.
Yeah.
I would say it would be along the lines of what we were talking about, like what was it the not the caveman, I think Neanderthal and stuff, like
Yeah.
they're not dumb, they were just a hardy sturdy person. Like they probably
They were a different evolutionary branch.
yeah, they were
I mean,
not they wasn't the smartest thing of the bunch, but they were smart enough in the areas that kept them alive and going.
Yeah, I mean,
for the most part.
You think like they weren't really nomadic, like the rest of the primitives were. You know, they were more like, hey, there's this cool cave. You want to hang out in it?
Yeah, weren't they like pretty much located and isolated to certain parts of like Germany or something?
Yeah, France and Germany. They have found pockets of them. You know, which is neat. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, it's always in a big cave system. You know what I mean? It's always in a massive cave system, and they got 400,000 miles of cave systems. And you know it's always the same. You know, even like what always got me was when they found graves that actually had flowers in the grave with the bodies. You know,
right?
I'm like, dude, yeah, there's a lot going on there that we don't understand. You know.
Yeah, they would show like. Well, in a way, yeah.
That shows empathy.
Yeah, it shows empathy. So
even empathetic intelligence, you know, where it has the ability to feel loss, and that's a big deal.
You can get that in like basic animals too. Like you say, would you see that in a wolf, or like you see that in dogs? Like because you've seen countless videos of a dog losing one of its loves, and it's at the grave, and just
a friend of mine's. Dad passed away recently, and shortly after the dog developed a spot on his leg they thought were hot spots.
Yeah.
And the vet came out not knowing the situation and said, "No, this dog's depressed.
Yeah.
Something has dramatically changed."
Yeah.
And it was because the father passed.
Yep.
You know,
they feel it.
Yeah.
I know that was a thing years ago where people were like, animals don't really have those kind of feelings. I'm like, well, they do though.
Right, and it's not even that far back. I mean, Dave said it. In the '82, they didn't even think babies felt pain. They didn't give anesthesia to babies for surgery, all the way up into like the early '80s.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's you would think that. Well, I mean,
I guess that's why some of the older folks are kind of tough.
You know what? Though, you got to cut them a little slack. It is medical practice.
Yeah.
practice makes perfect.
Yeah,
right?
That's why they call it practice.
It's practice. It's not a, definitive. We're still practicing. We're still getting better.
I think it's like, yeah, how you said, like, when you always put all your faith in science.
Yeah.
That's not how science works.
That's not how it works.
You're supposed to question it.
Yeah. Science is the only belief that wants you to doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting, and these sightings, and as far as going forward with the big guy, it's slowly. I'm over the hump here where I'm like, okay, so there's something.
Yeah.
But I want more. I want to be able to nail this down. It's something that I think about almost every day. Is like, okay, what do we need? I know what everybody's gonna say. We need a body. We gotta have a body. Like, yeah.
And still to this day, if we don't, like, even if we did have a body,
yeah,
we'll never get. Like, people still would say that's fake. That's fake. That's fake.
I was gonna say, if you present a body, then there's gonna
especially if it's a true body, for a fact somebody's gonna come in and take it,
right.
do their own. Especially the government. Like, how are you gonna fight that?
Right.
Say, especially if the government doesn't know about. Know about these creatures. And I know some people out there think it's a conspiracy that they do know about them, but if it's not true, then they don't know about them, and we do find one, there is no buts about it that they're going to come in and confiscate that.
I don't think it's a conspiracy. Or, I mean, it maybe is a conspiracy, but I don't think they do know it's out there. Because think about how much the scientific community, pats themselves on the back every time a new species is discovered.
Yeah.
Whether it be extinct or living.
Right.
Just in the last 2 weeks, I think, I know that I read at least 4 articles on 4 new discovered prehistoric species.
Right.
Every chance they get to promote it, because the second they promote it, it means more money for funding.
Yeah.
They want something.
Well, what about if you discover, a relic hominid, would that be, and especially one that's alive, in a world where it shouldn't be? And like I said, there's still spots in the jungle, in South America that we have no idea what or who is there. There's islands of people that we have never made contact with. I'm like, there could be differences that we aren't going to know until we get together and compare parts. You know what I mean? Like, well, what do you got? You guys got 6 thumbs? Cool. All your fingers are thumbs. That's badass.
The world's greatest hitchhikers.
Yeah, dude. They could hitchhike any direction they want at the same time. But then, like, a relic hominid discovery would be, I almost wonder about it. I mean, I don't have an official, stance on this one, because I'm like, would it be too much of a threat to fundamentally our belief systems, or would it be one of those things like, okay, we have a relic hominid, and they're just looking at the ancestry, and like evolutionary stuff, and they're just like, well, shit, we don't even know where we fit, Yeah. Where the hell do we stick this guy now, And then the other thing is okay, does that become protected land?
I don't think it would. And the reason I don't think it would is because it's never worked like that before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's protests for endangered species, and it's been going on for years.
I don't want to belittle any of these creatures, but I feel like if a Bigfoot is found, I feel like there will be a huge uprising saying that they want these creatures, that land or something. And plus, all the sightings that have been documented all over the world, well, if we're just going to stick to the United States, how many were those actual sightings? Would they consider those areas sacred?
I mean, look at when we were doing the monster tracker. How many did we dismiss?
I want to say there was a lot.
There was a lot.
There was a lot that we dismissed.
There were so many that just didn't fit the bill. They were so off the beaten path, and they were so sporadic, and even the behavioral in it was like, okay, come on. You know, you've got all these that show this behavior pattern. You know, and everybody says, well, you know, there's always bad eggs. There is, but think about it. Think of a primitive kind of creature that's not.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, yeah. There's, but there's like, what the hell was it? I forget what part of the country it was. It was the girl that was ate by coyotes.
Yeah.
And that goes completely against what coyotes usually do with people.
Right.
They might attack, but they typically don't hunt, kill, and eat people,
Right.
you know? And there was a small pack of, I think, 2 or 3 that did exactly that.
Right.
You know, so that
they
is
broke the norm.
They broke the norm and went completely against the character trait.
I wonder how rare that would be.
Right.
You know, like, is this? You know, if we've
1 in a
got
million.
if we've got 100 sightings, but only say, and this is pretty realistic. If we got 100 sightings and like 7 fit the bill, 93 sightings don't make any sense. Is that the real ratio we're looking at? We have 93 bad eggs and 7 that are pretty normal.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then you take into consideration, like, certain animals in different regions behave differently.
Yeah.
You know, and certain animals that are more around humans act different than the ones that are more wild.
Yeah.
You know, so how much of that is an effect? Think of horses.
Right.
You know, a wild horse will kick the ever-living crap out of you. It's going to try to stop you from getting anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Versus a horse that's you know, around people.
Yeah, it's used to people. It's going to act different.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It makes sense to me.
So there's a lot of variables that can change, and the environment can change. So, you know, I'm curious what is the good egg, what is the bad egg?
Yeah.
I can contest to that. When I'm in cold weather, I'm happy. When I'm in hot weather, I hate everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, you know, there's a saying, hate breeds violence. Or, I mean, not hate breeds violence, but heat breeds violence.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
The hottest parts of the world is the most violent parts of the world.
Absolutely.
You know, so if you've got sightings in colder climates that are more passive sightings versus sightings in warmer climates, maybe they're more aggressive.
There was a few that I read, and I noted them, and I saved them, that were not from, they didn't happen in Kentucky because it was like the wrong time of year, but there was some that was west in some of the western states that I found interesting because there was only a handful of them, and they happened during the daytime, which is odd for some of these sightings, and those were all aggressive.
Yeah.
They were like bluff charge and throwing things.
What about rabies?
Rabies?
Yeah.
We've said that before.
Yeah.
We've said that before. Like, would it change? Like, if they had rabies, would it change that change that species, whatever it was? I think we said it more on the topic of Dogman because we had a couple of things where it was weird on the norm for a Dogman sighting, and there was ones that seemed a little bit more aggressive than usual, and we kept thinking, it was like, would rabies go like crazy worse in a creature like that than a normal dog would? Like,
right. Well, with like humans, rabies, it's a death sentence unless you get it treated immediately. In only a few hours, you're dehydrated, and you know, there's all kinds of bad stuff that happens with that. But what about in a relic hominid primate?
Yeah.
Would it react different? You know, is there like a rage virus that they get? You know, or some sort of
I mean, that's what I'm saying. What I kept thinking was, well, my default that I kept falling back on was, I believe that they move around in darkness. I think they use it as cover. I think they can see pretty well.
Oh, yeah. Because I think I threw that out there, and like, it's a very loosely, like, researched, I guess, theory, but the whole third eyelid.
Yeah.
Like, that's why if you do see them in the daylight, and that's why they're kind of a little more aggressive, is because they can't see that much, but they can. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like,
maybe they can sense you, or
well, the third eyelid would give them basically internal sunglasses, but they're not the greatest. It's not like it's
not gonna
because it's like a thin membrane or something. Like, so it's like basically putting a piece of saran wrap over your eye. Like, it's not going to be perfect, but it's gonna.
There's a pretty typical situation that I found that came up fairly often.
Mm-hmm.
Not like crazy often, but these were the ones I didn't like just broom immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Which it usually involves somebody walking somewhere or even hiking and coming to a spot. Somebody walked up onto it, and he's laying there napping. He's like, "God damn it!" You know what I mean?
Right.
He likes to move around at night. He likes it when the light is lower. When it's daytime, he's fucking snoozing somewhere.
And he's not expecting anything.
Yeah.
If you ever seen the videos on YouTube of in Alaska, the people sitting on the rocky beaches next to the water, and a grizzly mother and like 3 cubs will come walking down the beach between 30 people.
Yeah.
And not even pay any attention to the people. Just kind of march right through with their cubs. Like, they see that you're there.
Yeah.
You're not a threat because they know what you are, they know where you are, and they know what you're doing.
Right.
But if you stumble across a grizzly bear,
yeah,
it can turn really bad really fast.
That's like the last place on earth you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, being on Kodiak Island and being like, oops, here I am. Surprise.
I wonder how bad it is to stumble onto a mama squatch with her baby.
Right.
I wonder if she like just straight fucking elbow checks you. Bam! Oh! Like the males just throw shit at you, make some grunts and roar at you, but mama squatch just straight up just fucking suplexes you right there in the trail.
Just like throat punches you, and like just your esophagus just collapses.
She just straight up hits you in the shin with a fucking stick.
Gives you the people's elbow. And
yeah. Oh my God. I just totally disturbed myself just thinking about getting hit in the shin. Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what I kept thinking was like, okay, well maybe, if it wasn't a guy in a gorilla suit, maybe it was like on its way to a place to snooze. Is there anywhere around there that it would be easy to hide?
Yeah, there's all kinds of woods down there.
Yeah, like once it goes down into in that creek, there's another big hill that goes up. Like, it could hide for a while, like, because there's nothing going the direction that he said that he was going. Like,
it depends. We don't know if they were headed east or west on that particular road.
Well, when he said it went over the guardrail going down that little embankment, there's a little creek down at the bottom, and then there's a giant hill going up. So
I wonder where that leads.
There's a lot of farmland, and like there's a decent amount of houses and stuff, but there's a lot of farmland and stuff out there.
You can only go so far before you get to the AA.
Yeah.
Well, if it was, like we said, we don't know the direction, but the direction, if he was going down that embankment and stuff, he wouldn't be going he would be going parallel with the AA, the direction that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So.
Does that put him in the right path? Oh. I mean, that direction. I mean, I realize that you're gonna adjust depending on.
It depends on what path you're thinking.
Yeah.
It's not going to send you back over to this one.
Yeah.
But that would be away from this one.
Like, okay. I would say that he would be going towards parallel to, I guess, California, Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, on the right. I guess if you're going south, be on the right side.
I have to do some digging. See if anything's ever been seen that around there.
But he would have to jump. He or she had to jump through a lot of houses, like farms, and then some houses that were pretty close together. But past that, I'm not 100% sure have been back that far.
If you talk to anybody with military experience, they tell you flat out that they absolutely could cross the top 3 counties in Kitten County without being noticed.
Yeah.
But if you've got any kind of military, I mean, that's just military training. Now imagine being a species that is designed to be in that kind of environment.
The only other
Built-in ghillie suit.
Right.
The only other thing that I always wanted to disclose, because everybody says, I feel like this is an argument that a lot of people say against the Sasquatch, is we should have found a body. I'm just saying, unless they're some type of, I guess, spiritual type of thing, they're not above the laws of this world. Just things could happen, and disease and stuff. Like, if they were by themselves, I think somebody by now would have stumbled across.
Would have found one.
At least remains of one.
Or maybe even someone might have.
Yeah, somebody might have.
But
what I'm saying is, but I would say at least somebody that wants to get famous, or somebody that wants to take pictures. I'm just saying, it would put it in the perspective that they're not alone. They have to be running with somebody.
I mean, in all honesty, what would be your first reaction if you... I mean, I'm talking immediate reaction. You stumbled upon a body, especially one that you're thinking is human at first.
Right.
Yeah, that would be startling as hell. How many people might have stumbled across one and just straight took off?
Yeah, and just in fear, thinking that maybe somebody's watching it.
Yeah, or anything.
That you could be next.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a fairly traumatic little experience to go through,
people that are in the woods might lean towards the reclusive type that maybe wouldn't want that kind of publicity.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of chances.
I mean, there's a lot of people in the woods that are on on YouTube or on TV or whatever. They want to be out there and be on the media at the same time, but there's a lot of folks that just disappear into the woods.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I was just saying is that we should have saw if they do travel alone. But this goes to show that if something bad happened, they take care of their dead.
Right.
And I've heard different theories on that. I've heard they bury their dead, they mourn their dead. Some people say that they eat their dead.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
So those are the things like, but if they, in a way too, if they eat their dead, they're, how to put this, they're courteous, I guess courtesy and I can't even say the word.
Courteous?
Courteous enough to discard the bones where no one can find them.
Right.
Or but there's a lot of area to cover, so
they're supposed to be good diggers.
So I've
heard a lot about that too. I don't know.
Oh, and another thing too is like you were saying. I think we've said this in the back. Like a lot of people have said that like the digging. If they feel that they're about to because it's just like dogs. Have you dog's about to pass? Sometimes it will go off into the middle of nowhere. Disappear. And it'll disappear and die
and hide.
Basically hide. So that's what I was about to say is that maybe it's that too. Maybe they don't run in packs. They dig a hole and they bury themselves if they know that their time is coming.
Yeah, it'd be hard to say. I mean, especially since we're just theorizing. Theorizing about the theory of a relic hominid.
Well,
so it's.
I've had dogs my entire life. And I've had 3 different dogs on 3 different occasions, 3 different breeds.
Yeah.
When it was time for them to pass naturally, not only did they run away from the house and get far away from us, but they found a place to get under, to disappear under.
Yeah.
Like under a vehicle, under rocks. They would abandon buildings. They would get up under the abandoned building or something. They would get as far away from us as possible.
That's crazy. I always wondered why. Why is that?
It makes no sense to me, but I mean,
I was just thinking that, like, it kind of dawned on me too, because I remember dogs doing it, like how you were saying too. I was like, it's either two ways, like, because I would think that we would have stumbled across, because accidents happen, like you can find bones of a bear, bones of wolves, coyotes, deer, everything.
yeah, but you typically don't find an entire skeleton.
Because I feel like it's been picked through, but it's the only other creature that. Why haven't we stumbled across some type of bones just chilling there? That this doesn't.
Wasn't it bears? Like we've never really found a complete bear out in the wild.
Like there are people that have seen a bear carcass.
Yeah.
But it's few and far between that have.
Yeah.
And we know bears exist.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a loose argument.
Yeah.
Because there are people that have seen it.
I get you.
But maybe people have seen a Bigfoot carcass and couldn't do anything about it.
Or what if somebody saw a carcass and just thought it was a bear?
Or they saw this carcass that weighs 700 pounds and have no way to get it out of the woods.
Yeah.
And by the time you get back, it's gone, or nobody believes you. If you told somebody you saw a dead black bear in the woods in Tennessee, people would go, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody gives a crap. You can lie about it or not lie about it. Nobody talks about dead bear carcass.
Yeah.
Dead Bigfoot now. You say something about that, people are going to go, come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
But how do you get it out to prove it?
Right. I tell you what, Tyler, if you're up for this, you don't have to, but
I feel like I'm getting thrown in the grinder.
If you want to take the GoPro with you, I'm not saying you have to do this in the middle of the night, but maybe if you get a chance around that area, could you get maybe a little footage and kind of just show us, and then we can show it to the viewers next week, and maybe hopefully get some more info on this and follow it up.
I can try to, but hopefully, like, the only crappy thing where the location is, it's a big curve.
Yeah.
If I stop, somebody could rear end me. So, like, I could go to the area, but it might be a little
Give us the old dash cam kind of drive through. You know what I mean?
I could probably do a little drive by, but I definitely would have to wait.
Little magnetic mount, put that thing on the front bumper.
Wait for morning so you guys could actually see how steep and how many trees are in that area.
That'd be awesome. If you wouldn't mind doing that, we could maybe do a video next week. I guess a week after this one, and follow up. And
yep,
I'm gonna keep digging too. Especially, I'm supposed to talk to the second person in this maybe sighting.
Yeah,
and he's supposed to fill me in on the 50 years ago sighting.
I'm curious about that one too, because the subdivision in question didn't exist.
Yeah. I'm interested. I want to hear about it. I want to hear what he has to say, and because it's so far, and so far, there's still a chance it's just some dude in a suit,
right?
But God damn it, how many times have we heard it's probably a dude in a suit,
right?
It's kind of a default, now too, but
it's the most probable.
Yeah,
it's the most logical.
It's like, it's a dude in a suit,
but it's not the most entertaining.
Well, definitely not.
Just saying, if it was a dude in a suit, Wednesday, I feel like he chose a crappy day to do it because it was hot out that day. It's pretty cold right now. I think you'd be okay.
Yeah,
be a little warmer.
Yeah, but it was only like 60 degrees or 50 something Wednesday morning.
Yeah,
it's not a bad time to be in suit. He could have just had his drawers on underneath of it. Maybe he wasn't wearing pants.
Or he was butt naked.
Yeah.
He could have been naked underneath that suit.
I really don't want to.
It's a good thing he didn't get hit by a car if he was, because
that's embarrassing as hell.
Yeah. What do you guys think? You want to? Oh my God!
Cut the suit off. This guy's naked under here.
This dude's naked. What a weirdo!
What a weirdo!
What a weirdo!
Remember, folks, always wear underwear and clean underwear.
Clean underwear when you're doing a Bigfoot.
Well, if he got hit by a car, I think he would have. Yeah, it wasn't clean for very long because I would have shit myself too.
What if somebody? What if somebody did clip it? Imagine like the whole car's dented in. It was a dude in a suit. You're sitting there looking at this car like caved in. Like, are you sure? It looks like you hit a cow. You know what I mean?
You hit Godzilla.
You hit Godzilla. Yeah. What do you guys think? You wanna put a cork in this one?
Yeah.
Let these people
let's end this one.
get on with their lives, and we'll follow up on this and keep you guys posted next week.
Yow.
Hopefully, there's something to post next week about this, because I'm gonna dig. I'm gonna be poking on this one. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to be back with the big guy. We haven't talked about him in the
Absolutely.
second
Especially
season now.
coming, like, this was kind of a spur of the moment because this just happened.
Yep.
So
And
that's
close.
cool. And very, very close. So, yeah, all right. We'll see you guys. Thanks for listening. And,
Stay frosty.
if you haven't subscribed, you really should, because it helps us.
Yes.
It helps our little show.
Not to sound like everybody else on YouTube, but please like
Yeah.
and subscribe.
Don't forget to do that.
Like and
Ring
subscribe.
that notification bell. You have an option to get notified for some videos or all the videos.
Yeah, you don't just want some. You gonna go sit down at breakfast and eat some of your breakfast?
I just want to let you
No.
know I stole that from another YouTube channel. I was like, now it's getting so deep that they're telling you how to turn on your notifications in your phone.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're already asking me to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I was like, I'm not, like, just calm down. Like,
Leave your number with us, and we will call you every time a video is posted.
okay. Later,
Promise
guys.
an ad.